Cari amici sportivi, welcome yet to another edition of the Milan Weekly Podcast. Here where, unfortunately this week, I talk everything Milan. From the Mercato, the friendlies, and I'm all by myself, unfortunately. Feeling a little sad. You know, Steve's not here. He's in beautiful Cuba. Guys, it's gonna be a weird one today because I've never done this without Steve. And, to all our faithful listeners and viewers, I thought I needed to make this happen. So, I reached out to a couple of people, see if we can, pass the time quickly with you guys this week, even though I believe Radio Rossonera is on vacation. But yes, we do not take vacations here. Vinny T, Stevie P, unfortunately, he's in Cuba. I thought maybe he was going to be able to give me a call, but you know how Wi-Fi is over there in Cuba. But guys, here I am. We're going to give a couple of calls soon, but this really feels weird, guys. It really does. But hey, let's get the show on the road. Presidente sent me over a couple of presidential points. We're going to talk to Adriano from the Milan from the Milan Club Montreal, which unfortunately got cut off last week. We're going to call Franco from New York to talk about his event that happened a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get together, and obviously Tommy's going to be around. So before I get started, from the bottom of our hearts, guys, last week was wow. Let me take these off there. I think this is going to be a lot better. A simple thank you. Thank you to everybody that reached out and gave a special message for us saying thank you for the 100th episode. Guys, it was really overwhelming because we weren't expecting that at all, and it was really nice to, hear everybody's voice. From Maurizio from Milan Club Toronto, from that snake of Nima from Sweden. We had Milanistra from Croatia, Australia, Milan Club Dublin, Philly. And guys, I'm missing so many right now. And even Francis, our friend Francis, that snake. We had two snakes say congratulations to us. But honestly, guys, here's a drink to you guys because it really felt awesome. I have no words, and I don't really share a lot of stuff with my own family. They know about the podcast, but I made my mom listen to you guys' message, and she was all teary. Oh my God, you're so big on the internet. Yes, Mom, I'm big on the internet. Thank you very much. But so that song was dedicated to Steve because I am all by myself, but it's okay. So. Guys, I'm going to apologize right now for probably the audio quality. Steve has the presidential computer with him, so right now we're going to try to extract audio, trying to record with the mic, but still going to put this up on YouTube tonight. Cheers to everybody, and I know Steve is the star of this podcast. I'm going to try to do him justice, guys. Even I'm sure my putting presidential points of perspective is probably going to suck, but hey, let's give it a try, right? So, and now you're going to have to bear with me because, I have to manage music. I have to manage everything from over here. So, Steve left last Thursday, right? Went on to Cuba. And, he was talking to Presidente, and he was telling him, all about the vacation. And as he's telling him about the vacation, Presidente started reminiscing, putting these presidential points in perspective, painting you a picture, as I might say to my friend Steve. Presidente started reminiscing about the good old days. Presidente hadn't met the first lady at this point, And this one were the times where we were hearing about this place in Montreal, the Salsa Tech. Walks into Salsa Tech, Presidente, and there he sees her. Yolanda. Sees Yolanda over there and goes over there. So making the moves. Presidente is making the moves, he's reminiscing about the good old days. And as he's pulling on his moves and his fantastic pickup lines, but I'm not going to repeat those because, that's part of the magical, the mystical magic of Presidente. But Yolanda looks around at him and is like, "Ay, papi." And Presidente is like, no, not Pepe, Marcello, Marcelito. And Presidente, remember dancing the salsa and the merengue the whole night with his Caribbean queen. And as he was daydreaming and he was, dancing all by himself, that's when he got caught by the First Lady. And, well, what are you doing there, Marcello? Sorry, baby. And he had to explain about his past flames, as we would say. So that was my attempt, as, not very good. Hopefully you guys get a bit of enjoyment from over there, but you guys know Steve is the magic. Steve is definitely the magic. So, guys, what we're going to do, we're going to go through our presidential points, right? We're going to talk to Adriano, and I'm going to ask him some questions, but I wanted him to talk about his experience from before. But you know what? Before we call Adriano, we're gonna call Franco. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna call Franco from New York. He's from New York. So let me give him a call right now. And this is a long distance call, obviously, but I don't pay. Well, Presidente pays, so it's all good.
Hello?
Signore Franco, good evening. How's it going?
Good. How's it going?
Very good, guys. Live here, Franco Zagheri from Milan Club, New York. And I gotta say, he's a reoccurring guest. He got me a little jealous because he told me that back in the day, he went to see ECW live, and I was a little jealous from over there for all. And Steve likes to make fun of me, and I'm obviously going to be putting in the wrestling over here. So I know a lot of you guys follow wrestling, but without further ado, Franco, how's it going? How's New York at this time of year? You guys some heat over there? What's going on over there?
Normally at this time of year, it's pretty humid, but we've gotten some nice weather. It's been a very nice summer, and New York is New York at this time of year. It's actually a quiet city, if you want to call it that. I guess relatively quiet, but
it is what it is. But Montreal is Montreal. New York, we have about the same weather, but it's just that it's just we need to come down there. We need to come down there with you guys and watch a game one of these days. But very similar cities.
You guys should come down in February and get a break from those 15 centimeters of snow that you get.
Because what, you guys don't have 15 centimeters of snow? What do you guys got 2 centimeters? You're closing down the whole city.
Basically.
Yeah. But before we get into it, and want to maybe to get your thoughts on this week, but Franco, you want to tell us what kind of experience and how did it feel? I know I saw a couple of posts on Facebook from the other admins, but wow. Franco Baresi live in the flesh. I know we had the opportunity to Skype with him here in Montreal, but can you please take us through that whole event and how it came to be? And honestly, just explain to us what it felt like to just be, rubbing elbows with a great like Baresi.
I'm gonna start with that question, just to how it feels, because it really does not feel real at all. He's standing right in front of you. He's in our home bar. We made it a point to have that event in the Football Factory. It's a for the listeners who don't know what the Football Factory is. It's a soccer specific bar in Midtown Manhattan. It's our home base. It's in the basement of a major sports bar called Legends, and then the downstairs portion is soccer specific. So it wasn't a glitzy catering hall. It wasn't like a big dinner dance event. We just had about it in our bar, and at the end we were watching a game with him. It didn't feel real until the next day, where the dust settled and you got to look back at some pictures and really think about what had happened the night before.
And Any good stories with Signor Baresi? I'm sure you guys didn't just talk about soccer. Anything you can share with us? Is just it does. We get the unreal feeling because that time forget the fact that you were in his mere presence, but we're us just talking to them on Skype, or that time that Masaru came over and we're there talking with him with the Champions League. But any good stories to share with the Milan weekly podcast viewers and listeners?
Just a funny short one is the man actually likes his gin and tonics.
Hey, no problem with that. Gin and tonic is a gentleman's drink, yeah. Right?
It is a gentleman's drink. That's right. He wasn't really swigging back any beers or anything. No Bud Lights for him. He ordered a gin and tonic, and then he asked a couple more, which was pretty cool. It just the whole event, him being so gracious. And he's exactly what people would expect him to be. He really is that soft-spoken, mild-mannered guy. And just hearing him share stories about when they came here in '94 and the World Cup, I actually brought him a Forza Milan magazine from that year, right before the World Cup started.
Wow! And
just to see him reflect on that time and what it was like here. Was really cool to hear because that's from our childhood. You and I are on the same age, so those years are special to us. But it was just such a successful event, and we have so many people to thank. It was just such a special week, and then the week ended with the game in Boston, so it was just it was an incredible experience.
I could just imagine, man. It's we're talking about the other time with Maurizio from Toronto and Dave from Philly, and we're joking around Milan Club North America, and it's going to have to happen before the San Siro goes down, where we're all getting together, all Milan clubs, and organizing that trip. And obviously we're gonna have to be leaving from your city because you're the capital of the world there in New York. Everybody meets up in New York. We get together. Presidente is going to get us a Lear jet. Maybe your Presidente can, fork up a couple of... He doesn't have the money of our Presidente, no offense, but, a Lear jet. We all go over there. We watch the game, but we need to make this happen. And it just makes complete sense. We have the excuse now that, we all knew we needed to go, but now, forget that it's whether it's going down or not, but we all need to go down there to just watch a game and hopefully for a Champions League, right?
Especially for a Champions League, but before that building apparently gets knocked down, you can rest assured that many people from this side, the New York side, will definitely be there. And I think a trip there is definitely deserved amongst all the club, and I think that's something that they noted from Milano. When we put this event off, and they left thoroughly impressed, and I have a lot of people in this club to thank for that. It was an incredible night. Everything went off without a hitch, and for the people, if anybody's listening who was there, I'm glad you got to experience it too.
Fantastic. I'm going to put you on the spot here, Franco. I got a question from one of the Milan Club members, because he doesn't do Twitter, so he sent me a personal message, and I want to get your thoughts on this. He's like, a question for the podcast. Would you let go of Suso to Fiorentina with a good offer, and how much would the acceptable offer be? Well, would it be to Fiorentina, Roma, everybody, and put as Regista Bonaventura? So they were talking about the all these rumors, but let's forget about the Bonaventura as a Regista. But Franco, what's your number for Suso? I know he's been putting, he's been on fire in the preseason, and finally we're getting to see what he was supposed to give us for the rest half of the season, but. To you, what's your number for him?
Here's the thing. I'm not a big Suso fan. I kind of like what Steve had to say. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago, where he just said, let's not throw around the superstar word, the 40 Glasser word, and that Giampaolo really needs to be careful with what he says, but. In my head today, it's funny that you asked this question, because I was actually just kind of wondering. I'm like, I wonder if Giampaolo was told to blow smoke about Suso to make everybody else think that he was that good, so we could maybe sell him for a little more. I don't know. I'd take, 35 is low. I would say I would set the number at 40.
You will go. You know what? I'm with you because right now he's shown that so far, right, guys? Let's be honest. It's a friendly, but he's shown that he's capable of doing what we always thought that he was capable of doing. And you want him? If they're coming at us, yeah, just give us what we deserve. But then it comes down to if we got to go make that one move. You know, I know Correa came out today with, okay, this guy's going to leave. They need to finance. But I'm with you. You know, if it's going to be 40 million that Milan gets, 30 at the end, minus here, minus there, I'm with you. And I think we'd be able to make it work without him. But definitely at the right number. 40 is a good number. Yeah, I like that one. You see, that's why we're both the Calabrese. We get along. We understand these things. But Franco, I really want to thank you again for covering last minute. Steve's not here. I know he's the star of the show. But thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate it. And we're gonna
say hello to him. I hope he's enjoying his vacation. And thank you. Like I said, congratulations again to you guys on your 100th show, and thank you for what you guys bring to us every week.
Thank you for the message. Thank you guys for everything. And you know what? Maybe he's going to call you when I go maybe on vacation next month. He might need another co-host. Who knows?
Nice.
All right, buddy. Have yourself a good night. ECW forever. And maybe WrestleMania. Maybe WrestleMania will come down. We'll go talk Milan at a WrestleMania event. How's that?
How's that? That'd be great.
All right, Frank. Have a good night. Thank you very much once again.
Take care. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. He's just, guys, honestly, I called him like maybe an hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago. I was like, yeah, can you help me out? Do this, do that. And what a great guy. Milan Club New York, again, like doing a lot of big things there in New York, whether it be Milan Club Toronto, Milan Club Montreal, Milan Club New York, Milan Club Philly. And I'm sure I'm letting out a lot of these, but again, one of the guys that sent the messages, just overwhelmed. Thank you. Let's keep the love. Milan Club North America. But now we will call Adriano because we need to do the presidential points with him. Let's give him a call right now. Guys, one day maybe we'll be able to do this like live where you guys can tweet out and we can do this live. Let's see if Adriano, I think that pezzo di pane.
Hello?
What's happening, pezzo di pane, signore Adriano? How are you?
Not too bad, yourself.
Good. Did you finish eating? Tutto a posto?
Yeah, tutto a posto, sì.
Fantastic. Now, guys, Adriano is at the Culture Guys on Twitter, runs his own radio show as well. But unfortunately, he was driving through the mountains of Vermont when we were talking last week, and I wanted to finish off on that, Adriano, before we get into the presidential points. I want you to talk. How I know you were part of the AC Milan video and you were looking at I think it was Castellet, you were looking with lust in your eyes, but can you tell us or try to describe the feelings that you went through that beautiful weekend you spent over there in Boston?
Yeah, so as I said last time we spoke, I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to go down to Boston for the weekend and see Milan play for myself being the first time. Getting to see the players up close, getting signatures on my jerseys, like stuff like that. It just, for me, it was a dream come true. It would have been nice to maybe do that maybe 5-7 years ago before this whole mess of a team that we have. But I mean, nevertheless, it was still a great experience. Getting to meet all kinds of different people from different fan clubs. Dave from Milan Club Philly, great guy. Got to meet him. Franco from New York City, Milan Club New York City.
I just hung up with him.
Over there.
I just hung up with him. I just spoke to him like not even 30 seconds ago. He came through. He came through because I had no guest today. But fantastic guy, Franco.
No, honestly, fantastic guy. First time I meet these people, and honestly, welcoming with open arms. The Milan Brotherhood, especially here in North America, I think is very strong, and I hope it continues that way. So for myself, just getting to experience being around other people from the Milan clubs around, North America, around the world, Toronto too. It was a lot of fun. The results for the game wasn't what we wanted, but nevertheless, I think just the whole experience, being around the team, from the hotel to training and the game and getting signatures and pictures, and for a lot of people it's a dream come true, and I hope Milan realizes that the North America fan base is strong, and I would love to see them back in North America very, very soon.
Any good stories with a player? Did you get to chit chat with one of them, other than the hi bye sign this? Anything? Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I saw before the whole signature and meet and greet and all that. I got to see. I went into the hotel that they were staying at and got to see the players come and go, pass by, whatever. I remember before Piontek went to training, I believe I stopped him for a signature just in case I wasn't going to get it later, and talking to him as if I was talking to you or to one of my friends. It was just so personable. He was a very, very nice guy. Joking a bit with some of the other guys, some of the other players. Donnarumma, a great kid, being so young and being so available for all the people there, trying to see him. It was remarkable. Even Çalhanoğlu, had a bit of a joke. I was asking him how training was. He responded, "Everything's good. I'm good to go." So just to see those types of questions and answers and availability by the players, I think it goes a long way for us fans, and we definitely appreciate it.
That's awesome. And you're gonna take a bit of Steve's place here, because I need somebody to rub shoulders with these presidential points. And President, it was nice. He only sent me 3 of them, but the first one I sent you over. He's talking about il trequartista, right? So ever since Giampaolo took over, Milan fans have been excited about the 4-3-1-2 formation, in particular the trequartista. Many of us believe Paquetá would be a lock for that position, but Giampaolo says he sees Paquetá as a mezzala, while for the trequartista he believes the players has to be a quality, talented player. Question: do you agree with Giampaolo about Paquetá? Why or why not? And then he asks, given how much he praised him and assuming nobody else arrives, do you agree with Giampaolo to put Suso as our trequartista and Bonaventura as his backup? Let's go with that one there first, Adriano. Trequartista. Do you, now the way he's been playing, right? And let's just say we ain't gonna sell him for 30-40 million. Suso in that position?
For me, I still think I would go the other route. I would go with Paquetá. I think Suso being in the trequartista role is kind of a bit forced for me. He's a natural winger. Steve said it many times. You can't just make somebody a trequartista just by the fluke of things. Giampaolo is a great coach and all that, and he might have the means to do that and make Suso a trequartista, but I just don't see it. It's a bit unnatural for him. He seems to still roam to the wings, what he's used to. We saw that in the ICC games, on perfect display. So for me personally, I think Paquetá would suit the trequartista role a bit better. He has that creative touch. He's got that flair, that Brazilian flair that we've seen in the past, and I just think personally to make that final pass to Piontek, Leao, whoever it may be going forward, I think Paquetá's got that touch.
I think Suso's vision might be a bit above, Paquetá's. Obviously, Paquetá's still young, but if we do get rid of Suso, if those rumors have to control, which I don't really think so. But then you would have, you have Bonaventura, you have Paquetá, you have Capitan Futuro, Borini, which thank you very much. Exactly. Look at that beautiful goal that he scored. But no, I don't know what to distinguish from this Giampaolo's comment. But do you put any truth, or do you believe in these whole Suso things?
That he's about to be sold, or
I just asked Franco what his number would be, and he's saying, if you guys want him the way he's been playing, give us 40, because we don't have to get rid of him unless they want to go get those other players, right? But if the asking number, I'm good with 40, because in the end Milan might get 30, 32, and that's a fantastic return on investment. But if we don't get that number, I'm not getting rid of Suso.
No, I wouldn't go less than 30 on him. I know anything above I think 10, I think is profit for us. But the player that he is, the experience in Serie A that he has, he is a good player. He gets a lot of stick just because he's so predictable, and we all know he's going on that left foot. But at the end of the day, he's creative, he has vision, he is a good player. But in this new system and in this new era, especially under Giampaolo, the positioning might not be suited for Suso. So if he goes, as yourself, Franco, said, I wouldn't go anywhere less than 30. 35 would kind of be maybe more my number. 40, I think, would be a bit of a dream, because if 40 would have been available for Suso, I think he would have been already out the door. So for me, I would say anywhere between the 30 and $35 million mark.
Makes sense. Question number 2 is, like, we were saddened to see Cutrone go, but need for speed, he was calling this, but to see Leao make his debut as his replacement. We won't know who will end up scoring more of the two, but one thing we will see is a significant difference when it comes to speed. Leao's former coach praised him, saying he has the talent to play with the best clubs in Europe. So, your thoughts on seeing Leao and how refreshing it was to see a Milan player attack with speed? You know, I was reading this, and I know sometimes, you know, it's very hard to give your comments after one game, but I had the same feeling. I had the same feeling seeing Theo Hernandez. You know, all those moves he was pulling, and then it's like, okay, it's different, because I'm not saying we never had any quality players or, you know, above average players, but this was a different style of play that we've seen. And what were your feelings watching him against, what was that, Ferne Canali or something like this, the team from Kosovo?
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, as you said, it was refreshing. It is different. I mean, we haven't had speed, let alone just the attack, throughout the whole team in quite a long time now. So to see some speed and some faster build-up play, a young kid like Leao up front that's known for his speed and can score as well. I mean, I think it is refreshing. I think it's a positive sign. Obviously, sad, very, very, very sad to see Cutrone go. I think he maybe shouldn't have been sacrificed, but that's just my opinion. But just to see Leao come in, got the start, you know, I think he felt pretty comfortable. Even Theo Hernandez, before he went down, seemed to feel pretty comfortable in that game, I think, against Bayern in the ICC game. So, I mean, just to see that speed and that fast build-up play, which personally we haven't, as I said, we haven't seen in such a long time, and we're always playing the ball back rather than forward. I think it's exciting times, and I hope that this chemistry can build with this team. Another guy, Benacer in the midfield, I think he's another guy that can do a lot, you know, build up play and recuperate balls, and maybe getting it up to Leao with his speed and finish it off. So for me, I'm excited. I hope these guys can gel together quickly and start off the season strong.
And look, what that assist on, and if it wasn't Borini, I don't think anybody would have scored, obviously. Did you see that fantastic goal? One of my friends was saying, is like, dude, he fell, and no, that was all calculated. And Borini should be worth at least $17 to $19 million. But you guys know I like to joke around on Capitan Futuro. His third point: Mercato stalled. So Milan are notorious for their inability to sell players, and the summer is no different, obviously. Andre Silva, Laxalt, Castillejo. I don't know about this Castillejo being on definitely surplus and can be disposed of, but still remain on the rosters. It seems without making any sales, Milan won't be able to buy any more players. So the question is, like, let's assume a worst case scenario where the current and guys, you know what? I think this worst case scenario is going to be a realistic one. Where do you find Milan most vulnerable to start the season? Defense, midfield, or an attack? Let's just say it stays like this.
Yeah.
Can we just go straight to midfield? Because it's always been that lacking point, is it not?
Yes, it has been. I mean, the midfield, as we've said many, many times over the past, God knows how many years now, we've been lacking in the midfield for a long time, and it's been a real problem. And I think now, you know, with the Paquetá arriving from, you know, halfway through the season last year, now Benacer, Krunic that looks, you know, half decent. I mean, Bonaventura maybe coming back. Maybe this will be the year where it's kind of going in the right direction. I still think we are lacking a bit in the midfield. And to top that off, I think even in the attack slightly, just because if Gianpaolo plays two-striker formation, which it seems likely that he might, I'm just worried a bit about depth. I mean, Piontek can't be there by himself. Leao, I don't think can be there by himself either. After those guys, who you putting up there? I don't know who we're gonna have if Andre Silva leaves. I don't know who else is gonna be up there to lead the line. So for me, I'm gonna stick with you on the midfield point because I absolutely agree. But at the same time, a bit worrisome for the depth in the attack.
No, definitely on the depth, and especially like if they're going to concentrate on Coppa Italia is always going to be Coppa Italia, but if you're going to concentrate on the Serie A, and it always comes down to those months where we have that lull, or where we should be gaining points but we're not. Like I remember last year under Gattuso, we were so many opportunities to gain points and we just couldn't get it done. And maybe that depth, but then you need the players. Adriano, like a guy like an example. Like a Borini, we like to joke around, but Borini, all those days, he never started. But when he started, he gave his all. Jose Mauri, for that matter, right? Every time he was called upon in the last couple of years, he did his job, and and we were always impressed with him. Like, okay, this guy can actually play. So it comes down to yes, that depth, but the players knowing their roles and understanding their roles. No, you ain't gonna start every single time. But we need you to be at your best and accept your responsibilities. And I think Giampaolo has that aura with him, coming with him, like that might never coached a big team, but I think he commands that kind of like respect, that he's a knowledgeable dude, and maybe he'll have those guys to follow him and to battle. But now, do you see anybody being sold? Before I let you off, dude, who's getting sold? If Correa is not coming, Andres Silva is not going anywhere, correct?
Yeah, exactly, 100%. I mean, there's obviously now links with Bruno Fernandes from Sporting, but the amount of money they want for him is through the roof. So, I mean, if Andres Silva gets in that deal, which they're rumoring, they're reporting, I can maybe see him going. I don't like the whole Castillejo out, because I've kind of didn't mind him in the attacking role that he was playing during the ICC games. Giampaolo put him up front with Piontek. I think he got a bit more involved, and I think he has a bit more of a spark. So I don't see him going either. I mean, I still think it's the dead wood that needs to go. Unfortunately, I just don't think teams are looking for those types of players or wanting those types of players. But if I would have to put anybody, I would maybe say Andres Silva, and maybe Suso, just because I don't know if he'll end up fitting in the system. But I think it's just going to be another waiting game until the Mercato closes.
Makes a lot of sense to me. Adrian, before I let you go, please let our thousands and thousands, actually almost 1,500 listeners and viewers last week. Tell them where you can find you pezzo di pane. Where can we find you on the Twitter machine?
Well, first off, I want to congratulate you guys for doing such a great job, getting these different milestones week in and week out. It's amazing to see two guys from Montreal, doing what they're doing, loving the game, loving the shirt, and expressing their passion, for people across the world. But for myself, you can find me at the Calcio Guys on Twitter and Instagram. We post all kinds of different content, Serie A content, Italy content, anything Serie A related. Where are your guys? So at the Calcio Guys on Twitter and Instagram, and I might be doing some work, for the Milan Club of Montreal on their social media accounts. So at ACM Club MTL, you can follow myself there as well for all the work that myself,
Presidente putting
and Brandon.
Presidente putting the young lions at work. Like in New Japan Wrestling, there's the young lions. They got to do all the grunt work for no pay and everything. Exactly. That's what Presidente is doing for you guys. But thank you for thank you for the messages, dude, and thank you for everything, for being so knowledge. But we're not professionals, nor do we pretend to be. But it warms the heart to hear you guys say these kind of things. Thank you very much. But the Presidente, what did he offer you? Nothing in exchange.
Well, I don't know. I'm hoping maybe a couple of free coffees, extra charo, something. I don't know. Maybe something to bite to eat, maybe. But we're gonna have to wait and see about that.
First of all, you went wrong when you said a couple of free coffees, which would mean more than one, and then you went straight to lunch. Look, I'm gonna talk to him, see what the budget says. But I know I'm gonna see you on the first day. I'll make sure that he's got some pizza ready for all of us.
Okay, beautiful.
All right, thank you very much for coming through. And I know we're not Steve, but hey, we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. Have yourself a good night, and thanks a lot for coming on again.
No problem. Ciao.
Have a good night, buddy.
You too.
This guy's like, a piece of bread. And in Italian, pezzo di pane, piece of bread means, he's a really nice guy, and I told you the only time I actually saw him all frustrated was that time that he bought a Cutrone jersey 2 days before he actually got sold. He wanted to get it signed. That poor Adriano. But guys, we're. I'm gonna start off with these ask Vinny and Steve questions, and I'm gonna try to call Tommy as soon as I get an interesting one. Right. So once again, thank you very much for replying back to us on Twitter. First question from at Rocking Philly. Khaled, are you guys getting this year's jersey? What color and what number? I already got this year's jersey, Khaled, and I've told myself a very long time ago that from now on, I'm only doing legends on jerseys, and the next one, it will probably be my boy. I know we all talk about Maldini, but my boy was Seedorf growing up. I just loved, I was always on the whole Dutch thing in Seedorf, and my Seedorf jersey is going bad right now, so it'll probably be a Seedorf jersey. I gotta go with that one. I don't know what Steve would go with. Steve too is with the legends, but we'll have to ask him the next time. Social Mail 100, and what's his at Social Mail 1001. In the absence of Piontek performing whatever reasons, what is our alternatives for spearheading the attack? Well, Piontek, that's our only option, unless Leao or Andre Silva stays in to become some sort of revelation. But honestly, if Piontek doesn't come out, I think we're gonna have to be asking to our midfield to score. I wouldn't put too much on this Piontek not scoring during the preseason. Again, I'm going to go back to 2 years ago. We beat Bayern Munich for nothing in preseason. Didn't mean shit. So I'll start. I said we'll do a preliminary, like, what's going on here 10 games in. And it's really at half season where you can really, okay, here's what I see. But no, our option is Piontek, social media 100. Alex Cardone, Alessandro, one of the one half of the Milan Montreal fan club. He's part of the Twin Towers because him and his dad have a combined height of like 12'6". Ciao ragazzi, seeing Suso shine these past 2 preseason games, would you still sell him? If we so, would you accept rumored 30-35 million asking price? You know what we're gonna do, guys? Let's call Tommy and find out what he would say to this question. So, and by the way, he has no idea I'm going to be asking him questions. So, away we go. Here we go.
Good evening, Mr. Vince.
How are you, Mr. Tommy, this fine Monday night?
Very, very good, Mr. Vincent. What about you?
I'm doing good, but I'm the listeners and the fans, they don't know that I was planning to bring you on live from my palace. But
I know, but I was caught up with, I thought my renovations were going to be finished by Sunday night, and then we found a little problem, which now we're going to be stuck here until Wednesday.
But Tommy, it's all good because when we get you on next time, it's going to be a total surprise once again, and nobody's going to expect it, right? So,
I am going to say one thing this week.
Okay, go ahead.
Io se fossi stato il dirigente del Milan, if I was Maldini and Boban, I was going to shoot Mendes in the mouth. That guy deserves to be shot in the head.
Why?
Che vuoi portare Andrew Bidone? He wants to bring another Bidone. What is this guy? What's his name? Fernandez. I'll tell you one thing. For a lot of people that don't know about this Bruno Fernandez, let me recap this.
Okay.
2012-2013. He played in Serie A con il Novara. 23 presenze, 4 gol. Year 2013 to 2016. He played again in Serie A, Udinese, 86 presenze, 10 gol. And then 2016 to 2017, Sampdoria, 33 presenze, 5 gol. La media, 142 presents, 19 goals. Suso plays at the same position as Suso. Been in Milan since 2015. 129 presents, 26 goals. Now, how could you come and tell me that one who bidone del genere, that only has proven something in a small-time league? Because, let me tell you something, the Portuguese league, it's been 25 years that has been a lower-ranked league, okay?
Yeah.
That everybody knows. It's unfortunate, but that's the reality of the truth. Come fai tu a domandare 70 milioni di euro per un bidone del genere? Then what Sousa's worth 250 million?
And
We're going back there to the Sosa years. Remember Sosa?
Me.
On Napoli, what did he do?
Nothing.
He
Yeah.
went to Trabzonspor Sport. He made 2 years that were brilliant. Again, in a lower league. He went back to Milan. What did he do? Na merda.
And it's funny talking about Sousa because I was having a question from the Twitter and I wanted to call you about that one, and it was Alessandro from the Milan Club Montreal saying, like, seeing Sousa shine these past 2 preseason games, would you still sell him? And if so, would you accept the rumored 30-35 million? I called Franco from New York. He said his number is 40. His mentality is like, hey, you want him? He's been playing this good? Pay, right? And Adriano, I just called him. He's like, yeah, 35, 40. I'm saying if Milan can get 30 million in the end, after paying everything.
Non si tocca. Sousa non si tocca.
Now you don't want to sell him.
Even Gianpaolo, look, I've changed. Look, I had to see him play. I have seen him now playing 4 games. I've seen him in the preseason games. I've seen him even last Saturday against this team, which I don't remember. It was a team from Kosovo there. I saw it live.
Yeah.
Believe me, do not touch Sousa. Don't touch him.
So
you want to go get rid of somebody? Touch a guy like Çalhanoğlu or somebody like that. But Sousa don't.
So
Because he's right now, he's perno del Milan, it's him. And he's been playing, and like even Gianpaolo said,
yeah, that makes
he's been playing
sense.
excellent soccer. He's Pupilo. He fell in love with him. So I don't think Milan's ever going to get rid of him.
So you're gonna go with you're gonna keep Sousa, right?
I would keep Sousa, yes.
All right.
If I have to sell him for Bruno Fernandes, quite well, yeah. You're gonna tell me. Let me tell you something. A guy that played at the same position, 142 presents, and only scored 19 goals in 5 years, which makes you la media 4 goals per year. You're gonna come and tell me that you're gonna pay this guy 70 million? Come on, get real.
Yeah, that's true. And speaking of one last question for you. It comes from
Look, even La Liga. Look at this. Even a guy that goes and plays in La Liga, like Matt Correa, plays in La Liga, right?
yeah.
You're gonna come and tell me that this guy's gonna come to Milan and he's gonna score lots of goals. Look at Ronaldo's stats. 292 presents in La Liga. He had 311 goals. Ronaldo's Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But Ronaldo costed almost, and now these guys are gonna ask half of the money that Ronaldo costed. Buddy, are you out of your mind?
Makes sense. But I want to run this question by you, and this comes from a lady follower, and she's a Juventina. She's asking, you guys expect Milan to make any new signings? This is from Maria Costignola, and she's like, from at OG Piemonte. I think she's Calabrese.
I think you did ask Maria. She'll be more worried about the signings of Juventus than the signings of Milan.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. This year, if the referee doesn't call calls against us, and they're going to be popular by the Federazione Italia Calcio, I think we have a better chance of beating Juventus than ever before. Because why? I've seen a guy that they picked up, this new Portuguese guy. Let me tell you, this guy's no Silva. Leao.
Yeah.
I've seen him play. This guy, believe me, he's going to create a lot of problems. Why? He's very fast. And in today's soccer, you need fast players. We got Hernandez. If he comes back before the end of the season, this guy's going to be another boost. This guy is very fast. That's what we need. We need speed. That's what we were lacking. Now we have it. Now, if we play a good game, we could go beat Juventus. Look, Juventus, it's a thing. They're all old people. Ronaldo seems like an old man. At Real, he was very fast paced, was a phenomenon. In Juventus, Look at his games. He's always in front of the net. He doesn't move anymore. You know what I mean? He's 34 years old. He's almost going to be 35, which is quite understandable.
So
I don't think she shouldn't be worried about Milan. If I were her, I would be more worried about Juventus.
So, in closing, what do you say to your you're getting a following? We have I told you, Gio on YouTube. You're a legend. Tommy is a legend. What do you need to say to all your fans? You're like a cult following.
Guys, let me tell you something. This year, if the Federazione gets away from these corrupted things from the Juventus that are corrupted and referees buying the games, believe me, this year we're going to get into the Champions League. And mark my words, once we get into the Champions League, we have a better chance of bringing back the Champions League trophy back in Italy than Juventus ever will have in 100 years even.
Guys, you heard it here first from Tommy, taking time from the renovations at the house. Tommy, thank you very much. I guess we're going to see each other next Sunday.
Well, Mr. Vincent, the pleasure is all mine, and once again, I thank you for taking the time to call me and to have this wonderful discussion.
Fantastic, and we're gonna see each other not this Sunday, next Sunday. Me, you, and Steve will do a quick video so you can give a shout out to your cult following there on the internet.
Forza Milan, guys.
Forza Milan, Tommy. Have a good night.
Ciao, guys.
Ciao. I like how he says ciao, guys, like I'm still with Steve there. But on her question at OG Piemonte fan, you guys expect Milan to make any new signings? If not, do you guys think that they need any specific players or position needed after the club sold players? Very good question, but I have this weird feeling that we've done our signings and that's gonna be it. I think we might have some people leaving, but I don't see any splashes. And if we do sign somebody, it will be like maybe an alternative. I don't know. It's maybe just my expectations, guys. The whole Modric thing. People talk like when you're my age, me and Steve's. I'm gonna be 40 years old, guys, in 6 months. I don't believe anything that I read anymore. It's just I'll believe it when it's comunicato ufficiale. We're talking about at Ciociarzi at the time with the Interista Mikey over there. It's like, guys, until you see il comunicato ufficiale from the team, don't believe anything. And it's unfortunate, but it does make it entertaining. To Simon Coletti, if this possibly the best present ever, hand painted by my girlfriend? Yes, she's definitely a keeper, Simon. If you guys saw, we retweeted on the Twitter machine. I know Steve usually takes care of the Twitter. Presidente is trying to take over to the best of his capabilities. I'm trying to get on there sometimes, but no, that's a fantastic painting, Simon. She's definitely a keeper. As the kids would say nowadays, put a ring on it. I think that's the way they say it. John Lamorte. John, he wants to... at one point, do you guys get tired of transfers, and just want the damn season to start? I'm going to go with the damn season to start, yes, right? But the rumors... John, how can you not be entertained? It's just... You know what it is? I always joke around about my love for pro wrestling, and pro wrestling, they say, like, suspend your disbelief, suspend your belief, try to pretend. That's what it, like, when I see these Modric things, I suspend everything. Yeah, maybe I can start seeing him, but I'm still a realistic guy. I know it's not going to happen, but it's entertaining. That's what it comes down to. But not entertaining when we actually sell somebody and he doesn't pass the medical. Andre Silva? And I can't wait for the damn season to start. And he says a Milan link with Bruno Fernandes, Silva to be included. What do you guys make of these rumors, and how excited would you be if this happens? I'm just going to let you listen back 2 minutes ago and let Tommy answer that question for you. The Milan Guru, good day, boys. I'm off to Italy in T-minus 48 hours. Sorry if I'm away from the show for a month. You don't have to be sorry, no. But by the way, you still have to be on the show even though you're on vacation. I'll be sure to send you photos. There's one place in Italy that isn't main city. Where would you recommend me spending a day or two, preferably north of Italy? Oh, man. North of Italy, I've only spent time and a bit of Milan, but not really Milan. It was like on the outskirts where my extended family lives. I would probably tell you, what it is? I would probably tell you, go discover the non-touristic places. That's what it comes down to, right? Instead of just doing like, oh, El Duomo and the this and the that. But I wouldn't be able to answer. I don't know if Steve's ever been anywhere else in the north, or ask Google. But have a good time, and Forza Milan. Peter Bernardi. So are we not selling Suso? Also, which player from last year's squad, not a new signing, will you have the biggest breakout year? Grazie amici sportivi. So I guess we're not selling Suso unless a crazy number comes out. Who's gonna have a breakout year? I'm gonna go with Paquetá. I really think Paquetá is gonna have a breakout year. I believe that we saw some glimpses, of what he's capable of doing. I believe he's gonna show us a lot more. Our expectations are already above normal for this kid, right? For the amount of money that we spent. But I think personally would be his breakout year. Hopefully, for me, guys, what's the expression? The diamond in the rough. And the way I see it, that this diamond in the rough was a diamond. Sand got all over him for 8 to 9 months, and now all of a sudden he came back out. And that's Jack Bonaventura. He's had the talent. He's always had the talent. He always gave his all to Milan. You could see it on the pitch, a Cutrone kind of way. And yes, we only saw a little bit of him, but I think he's going to come back to the majestic best of what we are used to see him. And guys, I think that's about it for the questions. Again, this was really weird, not with Steve, guys. We still wanted to do a show. I want to thank you guys so very much once again. And I should have made a list of everybody that came out and said thanks. Thank you to Presidente for actually thinking about that. But it really means a lot for you guys to take that time. And it goes to all the listeners and the viewers. Hopefully you guys keep on supporting, because it really does make our day, and how it's our therapy session. This once a week. Steve, unfortunately, he's having a therapy session in Cuba with Yolanda. I'm not just joking. And no, guys, I really wanted to say thank you, Brioshki and the indigestion of the week. So I know Presidente had his own, so I'm gonna read these out for you. Presidente, he was basically saying that his where is it? His indigestion of the week was Lega Serie A asking Buffon, per superare il Maldini ti servono solo ette presenze. So the translation, to surpass Maldini, only need to play in games. Buffon, are you pumped? Presidente, because Maldini's his boy. This disgusts me. It is beyond shameful and embarrassing. I will need 2 bottles of brioche to calm my nerves and cure my indigestion. I'm gonna go with the indigestion of the week. Guys, it's gotta be the journalists. Mine will go with my brioche. My indigestion of the week is gotta go with the journalists. Guys, it's all fun and games about talking about rumors, talking about what it could have, should have. But when you're a professional journalist and you're asking these questions to people in position, a la Boban, do you realize who you're asking this question to? And my brioche, my feel good of the week was Boban going, Maldini answered you guys 20 days ago, but since you guys keep on want to topic about it, then I need to and he just put him back in their place, but in a very professional manner. Good for you. Good for you. Another good brioche, a good feel-good moment was when Giampaolo talked about Ferrecanali, I don't remember the name of the team, saying we played a subpar team, so I was expecting this. I like that. It was very straightforward. We still have a lot to work through. It was telling us exactly what we knew all along. No offense to the team, but it is what it is. And his brioche of the week obviously was for everybody. I think I would probably speak for Steve to say thank you, guys. Thank you so very much for the congratulatory messages. I know I'm repeating myself, but it was really a fantastic feeling. Next week, Steve's back on Saturday, right? So we'll be back here on Monday. So you're not going to be stuck with me all by myself, but thank you for surviving this 55-minute podcast, and thanks to all my guests today. Hopefully I made you guys a little entertained, a little bit laugh, but we all know Steve's the real star of this podcast. Ovunque sempre, Forza Milan.